Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Welcome to the party. I'm Peppermint, your hostess. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And I'm your host. Welcome to Pepp Talks. I'm so glad that y'all are here with me. This is the weekly interactive show which covers hot topics and commentary on notable Black cinema throughout history. Each week, I invite you to sit down, throw on your PJs, your mud mask, and get comfy with me and my celebrity guest, where we dish our takes on the movies, drama, and our favorite trends and products. That's products. Um, it's basically a celebration of all the things I love: makeup, Black culture, and connecting with each and every one of you. So I definitely will be in the comments tonight, darling, keeping an eye on what y'all are saying in the chat. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. So today's guest and movie are the fabulous Trace Lysette and Waiting to Exhale. But before we get into it, honey, I am so, oh, I forgot. Okay, right. Oh, my drink. Thanks. I have a new drink holder. Okay, let me tell you. There's two things I gotta talk about. Oh, wait, I gotta do this too. Darn it. I got three things to do. Hold on. First of all, I have to click that button. I see it, right? Um, that's the first thing. Let me click the button because I don't want you to die. No, Raif's not gonna die. Um, oh, girl, I gotta. I'm sorry, y'all. It's a live show. Okay. Um, but while I'm waiting, okay, I better do this now. I gotta step out to do it. I'm sorry because I don't want you to. Okay, there we go. Are you back, Raif? Are you in? You good?
I'm in.
Okay, great. Thanks, babe. Um, okay, first of all, I got a question for y'all. Why do salt and pepper packets? Okay, hear me out. Salt and pepper packets on the to go. Salt and pepper packets, the pepper never has enough pepper in them. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Literally like one or two flakes of pepper in the little paper envelope, but the salt is like a full serving. And I don't understand, all this salt comes pouring out, but not enough pepper. You got to use like 4 or 5 pepper. Does anyone know the answer to why? I want to know. There we have it. Um, and now I'm very excited to welcome Rife. I can't see. Are you in the thing, Rife?
It's
Oh,
frozen.
Everybody's frozen to me except for Pep.
everybody's. Yeah, what is going on here? Now it's time for me to go down a little bit. It is now time to introduce someone who I've known for quite a long time. We are sisters. We have known each other for many, 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 many moons. I'm so proud of this one. She's an actress. She's an activist, a producer, a writer, a singer, a rapper, a dancer, a legendary mother of the House of Mizrahi. This is my friend, Trace Lysette. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl, can you see me?
I can see you, bitch.
Okay. Oh, wait, these other 2 men are froze. Is that all right? It's fine, right? Okay.
They'll be okay. This way? Okay, let me scoot. Is that okay, Mitch? Better? Sorry, y'all. We got it together again. A little bit better. Am I in the middle now? What y'all do?
Now she's nice and big. Okay, cool. I can see.
Okay, what's going on in this crazy world?
What is
Okay,
going on, bitch?
I ordered. First of all, girl, I ordered. Don't worry about my drink. But if it actually looks like it's ready to fall, like if it's like sideways, let me know. But if it's just a little tilted, it's okay. I got this drink holder that's supposed to clip onto your chair from Amazon. Girl, that stuff, that ain't working.
It's
It's
working.
so weak, so it's on the edge, but it's all right. It's not gonna move. I'm not gonna knock it. I
Are you
hope not.
gonna put it in one of your episodes of your What I Wish I Bought?
Girl, I should hello, I need to bring back I need to bring that segment back, y'all. And Trace, I forgot to prepare something, but I think starting next week, Mitch, and we have to should talk about this after the show. I'm gonna start doing a live performance in the beginning of the show. Are you okay with that, Mitch? I should, right? It's
You
fun.
should definitely do that. Hell, I might start doing a number once a week just to get some coins.
Yes, girl. Hello, some coins, darling.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, okay. Let's start the interview.
Okay.
First of all, if you're watching on Twitch or YouTube or Facebook, please check for the link in the description or my Twitch profile to leave me a tip to support the production of this show. It is free to watch, but it is not free to put on. So please donate by hitting the tip button so we can bring you the best every week. There we go. That's my live performance. Okay, Trace. I got that. Yeah, I saw you giving a little bit of
Oh,
the hammer dancers. You know,
a little bit of hammer.
um, toilet paper on the wall. Wait, what's that? Mirror, mirror on the wall. Anyway? Toilet paper on the wall. Tell me, over or under?
Oh, well, it didn't matter to me for the longest time.
Will
However,
you put it on the roll?
on the roll, however, my ex had a thing about it, and I was corrected once, and he told me that it must go over. And so, being the good bitch that I am, I accommodated. So now I do over. But when we broke up, I started to not give a fuck again because he doesn't run my life, he doesn't pay my
Yes.
bills, and he doesn't wipe my ass.
Trace is rebelling with the toilet paper, honey. You know, it's so funny. Whenever I ask people that question, the people who like have thought like figured it out and thought about it are people who put it over. The people who are kind of like, oh, whatever, it always ends up going under.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
it's a thing
um,
for a lot of people apparently.
it is a thing for me. It burns my britches when I reach and have to, and
Go
I'm
on.
like, well, damn it, go under the thing, and then you're like trying to get the thing toilet paper, honey. I want to see it anyway. Um, you have been very public about your thoughts on cis actors playing trans roles and the lack of representation. So, what are your thoughts on how far we've come and with the progress that we've made so far?
Oh my God. Yes, I have been very public. I sometimes wish I had not been so public. Um, just because it's really not about them. It's just about the opportunities for us. And so there's that double standard of like, well, goddamn, what do I have to do to get through the door? And then you turn on the Emmys or the Oscars and you see them, it's just people playing us, playing trans and winning awards. And it's just like, ah, well, can we get a piece of the pie? Can we get a leading role, whether it's trans or not? I think a lot of us are just feeling really tired. And so the times that I have spoke out publicly about it, it's been out of like um exasperation. Like,
Mm-hmm.
a bitch is just tired. And sometimes you can't control your thumbs and you just get on the Twitter and be like, girl, this is what it is, honey. Right. And then you're like, oh god damn it. Now I'm in a did this headline
Girl, they're gonna come for you now.
shit. They got me again. I look like the problem child. And it's like, that's not what it is. I've been at this for a very long time. I've been acting since 2007. And I know there have been girls in the game longer than me that are frustrated too. And That's all it is. We just want opportunities, and I don't think we should be boxed in because cis people are certainly not boxed in. So, it's just about opportunity.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Uh, well, okay. 'Cause obviously I follow you on Twitter and all the grams and everything. What is like if we were in a place where we didn't have to deal with sort of like this cisgender gatekeeping of everything.
Mm,
Um, if we didn't have to deal with that, what if we didn't have to deal with that, we probably wouldn't be on this planet. We'd be on a different planet. But if we
right.
didn't have to deal with that, what would your dream role be? And do you think it will ultimately, and I'm saying this kind of just very real. Do you think that it will ultimately be something that you would be better off writing or creating on your own? In terms for it to be accurate, like to be everything you want, given thinking that we would want your dream role to be the role you want, the type, whether the role is cis or trans or whoever,
Right.
and then also knowing that you'd want it to be appropriate and respectful and just all the things.
Right.
What would be?
Well, it's hard for me to say a single dream role because I think I love all the opportunities that come as an actor. The biggest dream is just the fact that I can go and be multiple things and it's ever evolving and like no two
Mm,
roles are the same, hopefully. If you have a fruitful career, you get to play all the things, right? Whether it's a
mhm,
witch or a mother or an auntie or a daughter or someone who's got a terminal illness or somebody who, is a superhero or just all the things. Like those are you get to be the messenger, the conduit to the audience. And so like I do have a dream of playing a superhero, for example, but I know that sounds so cliche as an actor, but it means something different for me as a trans woman. And I think that's because we've never seen a trans woman in a mainstream blockbuster summertime superhero movie. Because when we talk about diversity, a lot of times trans gets left out. And so for me, that dream is definitely very real. But I also dream about those critically acclaimed roles that are gritty and real and grounded and maybe not the most glamorous, but you get to really bring that human experience to the screen for the audiences to really connect with your heart. And I want to do it all.
I hear that, honey. That's the
Yeah.
truth. Um, Regina Rex, who is a fabulous regular of ours, says uh, dream roles are also about who you're working with, in my opinion, and that's very true. That's
Yeah.
very true. But all right, Regina Rex, are you an actor as well? Tell us about it. Um, what is the biggest sacrifice that you've had to make as an actor in the business today? I'll tell you one that I had to make. I'll tell you a story. Good Lord. I won't say exactly what it was, but there was a studio that's known for a particular type of movie. It's not a porn story studio. That's known for a particular type of movie. And let's just say horror. And they came to the club one night, years ago, and asked me would I want to be in the movie, just like as an extra in the movie. And this was I was a teenager, so I was like, a movie, yeah. So I had to transport myself there. Got another some gay person. I was like, hey, baby, and I was like, you want to be in a movie with me? We gonna go. And we took his car. We drove up to like like some far, like an hour out of the city, and uh, the scene was a drive-in sort of plastic surgery place, which is I'm okay with that.
What?
uh,
Oh,
and and I was a patient getting ready to have boob jobs or something.
boob job.
And yeah, boob jobs. And they asked me to sit in, and they said, "Okay, we're gonna have you be in here. You're getting examined by the doctor. and they brought in the doctor, and it's a little person, a little man,
Mhm.
and they're like, okay, he's going to be examining you, getting you ready for the surgery. And I was like, okay. And then they're like, okay, right before they start called action, they're like, okay, we need you to take off your shirt.
Oh, no, ma'am.
And
Uh,
girl, it was very Coco for me, Coco from Fame. I was like, and all these people were just like looking at me, and I was like, oh my god, this is a. And so I did it, which is why I will never speak the name of this movie again. I did it. It was humiliating. It wasn't like distasteful. Well, no, the movie was distasteful. I I don't think I had anything to be ashamed of, but
mhm.
um, that was something that I sacrificed. And
Yeah.
so I'm not asking if you've ever had to take off your shirt for a movie, but I'm asking what is the biggest sacrifice personally that you think you've had to make as an actor, whether it's for a role or just to be in the business?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, there's been so many that I think you sacrifice a lot when you choose to do this for a living. If you could do anything else, do it. Um, because sacrificing comes with this business. But definitely, having my Me Too moment with Jeffrey Tambor on Transparent was extremely difficult. Outside of that, though, I do remember, speaking of traveling somewhere yourself, I remember having to, early in my career, I booked a job that was on an opposite coast. And it was what we call a local hire. And
Okay.
so I had to scrounge up money to buy a flight and go and do the job, and the job didn't even pay for the flight, I don't think, but like, that's what you got to do to get your credits up sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to make that sacrifice early on. And then what's crazy about this business is that when you get to a place where you can afford to buy your own flight to go wherever you want, they will pay for you to come wherever. So it's like, it's really weird in that way that, like, once you get the clout, I guess everyone is just like willing to fly you wherever, business class, but when you're first starting out,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you got to buy your own flights and do all the things to get those credits. So,
I guess it's like it's some kind of sick thing where they're like, well, let's see how bad you really want it. If you want it bad enough, you'll just do it and we'll get it for you for free. Like
right.
that's how it feels like they're at
Yeah,
least that's
you
my
also
impression.
have to be willing to walk away. Like, there's been times when, I won't get specific, but there's been times when I had a certain quote or asked for a certain amount of money that was uh, very appropriate for whatever the job was, and then they try to play hardball with you, or maybe it's sexism, or transphobia, or just underlying bias that they don't want to give you what you're worth. But sometimes you have to be willing to be like, all right, deuces, like, this isn't for me, this isn't where I'm at. And that's oftentimes when they're like, no, 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 wait, we'll give you whatever.
I know that's a risk though, right? You have because it's you never know. You when you make that decision, I guess we have to be like, okay, I'm gonna walk away with this and see what they do. But they
Yeah,
might be like, bye, let's ask so and get
yeah,
so and so to pay for their own flight, you
yeah.
know?
But I've been both. I've been the person that humbled themselves and did the job for pennies. And I've also been the person that walked away. And I have found that when I walk away, I usually feel okay about it. But when I do the job for pennies, I feel worse.
And then there's resentment.
And then there's
Even when the movie comes out, you're like, I ain't going to that damn thing. They owe me money. I ain't buying the ticket.
right. Right.
Okay, so besides what you already have going on as a fabulous businesswoman who's uh, got a career both in front of and now behind the camera, what is it that, if you could open a small business, any kind of small business, what would it be? Like a store or an agency of some type or a school?
Well, I had dreams just coming from the ballroom scene. That's my roots. I had dreams of buying an actual house someday, like a physical house
Hmm.
that would be a drop-in center for ballroom youth specifically, but LGBTQ youth, with
Mm.
focus on ballroom and trans folks. Um, and whether it's a brownstone or maybe it's a house out here in LA, I don't know, but some kind of drop-in center for youth, like a rec center type of tea where they could gather and celebrate each other. And maybe there's a, who knows, maybe there's a sound studio in there if they want to explore different performing arts. That's just like a really long-term goal that I've always had whenever I get blessed. If I do get
Mhm.
blessed in the way that I hope I do, I would love to create an actual house um, for the kids.
Um, okay. We have a question here. I can't see, right? Can you tell me who it's from? Actresses, it just says. Wait, scroll up. Yeah. Okay. Golden Grilled Cheese says,
It's
do
good.
movie and TV Golden Grilled Cheese. Actually, I would really love
I
it's
love.
gold grilled cheese, not golden grilled cheese. I
Oh,
would really love a grilled cheese sandwich right
now
now.
I'm gonna order grilled cheese when this is over.
Honey, that sounds good. Gold grilled cheese, you got us together with your screen name or username. They don't even call them screen names anymore, I don't think. Um, do movie and TV sets have safe spaces for trans actors or actresses? And do you have to ask for it in their contract with when on a project? That's from Gold Grill
Yeah.
Cheese. Safe spaces.
Short answer is no.
honey, there might not be a safe. Let me calm down. There might not be a safe space. Let me shut up. Let me shut the hell up.
I know where you were going.
Girl, you know where I'm going.
I know
You
where
know where I'm going.
bitch, I hate you. Oh,
Woo! Child, get turned on the air. Okay, girl. Yeah, the short answer is no. But I think that's I'll step up a little bit. Um, the industry is definitely changing. There's more of a recognition. And I think it's definitely easier to have the conversations uh, that will bring us to a better thing, whether it's through our management, our representation, our agents, or even advocating for yourself on set. I've been in that situation. It's not a good situation to be in necessarily when you see something wrong or something, and sometimes it ends up being a bad situation. But saying some people understand what the word transphobic is these days, whereas 10, 20 years ago, they were like, what? Man, what you talking about? And so there is a little bit of a forum that you can bring up and say, hey, this isn't right, or this was triggering, or something. And someone on set should at least, it should register with someone. Now, the best thing is that would be for them to have already considered those things so that you don't even have to encounter them. But it does still happen for sure. As long as most of the people all behind the scenes and even in front of the scenes look a certain way and are kind of all one group, then you're going to have people that are on the outs, you know?
yeah, well said.
Yeah. Um, all right, y'all, it's time to jump into this. Listen, head over to my Patreon if you would like to see me and Trace Lysette talk about if she follows comments about her number one fashion redo, Trace's thoughts on legislating transgender athletes to participate in sports, and her biggest pet peeve. That's in the pre-show. That's on Patreon. Nelson DePina, who is a regular. Do you feel that financially you
Mhm.
have to be a little more responsible as compared to other cisgender women in acting? Does the advantage of cisgender women getting more opportunities make you feel like you have to save money that you make from a role because you're not sure when you'll get another opportunity? That's from Nelson DePina. Nelson, thank you so much. We don't even have this award, but I'm giving you the award MVP for participation. Everyone else does a great job too, but Nelson DePina always comes through, and you're one of the most recognizable regulars that we have on the show and on Patreon. So thank you so much.
The answer is yes. I do have to be more careful. I think I've spoke about this publicly where, you know, people have come up to me in the street with tears in their eyes,
Mm.
regarding what some of my characters have meant for them on screen and whatever doors they've opened. And then I'll go look at my bank account and it's giving no ma'am. So it's like the the fame is not matching up with the finances right now. And it's something that I've spoke about before, and it's really unfortunate. And I think that it probably is due to the pay gap with trans women and cis women. And I think we need to get
Mhm.
very specific about who's getting paid what in terms of gender and race. And I think it's all important. And I think the more specific we can be about who's getting paid what and what's fair and not fair, the sooner we'll all get more equal in terms of what we're getting paid.
Mhm. Mhm. That's definitely true, and not to play the devil's advocate, but whoever anybody goes up to on the street, if you're seeing them walking on the street, they don't make as much money as you think they do. If you have access to them and you can walk up to them and you're like, "Oh, they're on TV, they must be rich." That is the biggest misconception for anyone on TV, cis or trans,
Yeah.
is that like you're on TV a couple times and you're like rolling in the dough. And one of the things that isn't really talked about that much is the economy that's behind the world of acting. People understand that because they've seen TV shows about it, but like, one actor or one performer may make for every $1,000 that that person makes, they're splitting it not only on nearly half of it to the government, but then if they've got representation, if they got these people are taking 10, 20% a piece, it leaves very little for when you're for the actor or the person that brought in that sum. And so everyone deserves to get paid. I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying, seeing someone on TV does not translate. It only translates to one thing, that they were on TV. That's all it means. um we have another question from Punjit. Namaskar, Punjit, if you are of Indian descent. I don't know, but I hope if you are, namaskar. And even if you are, namaskar. Uh, can I have a, okay, these people are trying to get we got a study all going on here. Can I have an example of pay gap with cis and trans women? Thank you very much. That's from Punjit.
An example of pay gap. I can give you the example that an actress in my position with my amount of experience, um, that is not trans, I would be very surprised.
You don't have to go do specific numbers, maybe just like
Yeah,
how
I
many times or
I'd
whatever.
be very surprised if they had to fight for their specific quote on any given show or job at this point in their career, let alone fight for a role of a certain size. Like there's certain size roles that I shouldn't have to go in and tap dance for anymore, and I find myself still having to do that. And I think that a lot of that is due to cis folks like maybe underestimating trans people and our experience.
Mhm.
And we're not all like new trans actors. Some of us have been doing this a very long time. And I think a lot of times we get cattle called into the same group, even if it's just a little guest spot or a co star role, small role. It's like sometimes they'll be like, oh, can you come in and read? And I'm like, I've been doing this for, almost 15 years or whatever. Like, you know, I'm I don't do under fives anymore, under five lines. It's just that I don't even do those. So it's just I think there's certain things that we deal with in terms of pay and opportunities that a cis actress at my level would not be dealing with still.
I want to tell people, like, basically, I'm going to try to translate this, y'all. The world of acting and the business of acting, when it comes to film and television and being an actor and getting the parts, a lot of that, uh, it's almost like a game of Tetris. Like there's a set amount of money, resources, things like that that they put into a production that they kind of agree on beforehand. And then the actors through their agents have to kind of all vie for a piece of that pie. The pie is baked and that's what they're going to budget for that production. Now some things go over budget, some things don't. But everyone's sort of vying for a piece of that. And some of those things are money. Some of those things are resources, like what size dressing room or what the trailer you're going to get. You know, if they have 5 trailers and some of them are tiny ones, some of the big ones, you want your agent to get you one of the big ones. Well, the other person got it. And so, you know, there's also like placement on the in the credits, like where the top billing is, you know, top of show, where it goes when the first names you see, you know, on a TV show, that's top billing or top of show. And then the role is at the end where everybody sees all those words coming up at the very end. And so, you know, those are some of the things that have value that people, you know, bargain for when they're negotiating. That's aside from the role and maybe even how many lines you may or may not have. And so all of those little pieces of the puzzle play in. And if you are an actor, performer who's got lots of awards and Emmys and Oscars, then some of those things are kind of reserved for you, because of the amount of your, you know, career. And then if you are someone who might not have those same accolades, you know, you have to fight a little harder sometimes for them to break through. And some people seem to break through pretty easily. And what Trace is talking about, a lot of trans people, even a trans person with nominations and things like that, might not be able to break through for some of those resources I was talking about. And so that's kind of, if that's my interpretation of it. I don't know if that works for you, Trace.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. That sounds good.
Joe Dane asks, does this is a Patreon question? Does not having those other questions were comments from the comment pool from the chat.
My light is acting up.
Does not having trans women regularly on Drag Race damage the public's understanding of transness? Y'all are coming with the damn money, girl.
You bitch.
They want the tea, girl. Okay. Okay. She had to go get something.
Sorry. I
Okay.
have to get a new battery pack for my light.
Oh no, get the battery pack. We don't want it to die. Does not having trans. Okay, I'm sorry. Scroll back up, Raif. Sorry. Does not having trans women regularly on Drag Race damage the public's understanding of transness, as trans people are a large part of both the queer and drag community? Thank you for always representing loves. Wow. That's a question for you.
Oh, that's for me?
Yeah.
I was on Drag Race.
I know. But they wasn't there for you.
I was on one episode when you were in the finale.
Oh yeah, you were on Drag Race. You were on Drag Race.
And you threw your wig to me and I twirled her.
And she twirled it, honey.
That's right. I think as a young fledgling drag queen in my teens, that was my introduction to not only entertainment but womanhood. And I was taught the art of drag by old school veteran trans women who worked in the context of drag. And these trans women have lived off this art form for a very long time. It dates back to Le Carousel in Paris, or Finocchio's in San Fran. Like trans women working in the context of drag for all kinds of audiences. And they've always been there right alongside butch queen drag queens, which are queens who live as men. And so there's a difference in our journey, yes, but when it comes to drag, we're all in the back of the club in that same dressing room, getting ready to do the
mirror,
whatever. And you know, when I was a young showgirl, I was a drag queen, but I was also figuring out my gender, you know, and so I think that to omit trans women from the art of drag on a platform as big as Drag Race is doing a huge disservice to the culture, because it is fully erasing an entire group of people who are integral to that art form. And so I think it's important. I think we're seeing it now, you know, with Gottmik, even though he's a trans man. I think it's nice to see that kind of inclusion. I do still think they need to include more trans women, especially just because of the amount of trans women that that do drag and that live and work and breathe the art form. I think that, the Raquel Lords and the Sasha Sanchez's and the Eric Andrews and the, rest in peace, and the all of the iconic trans women and the Canes of the world, like, we need to see them compete as well. Um,
Mhm.
Without it, it's just you're only getting half of the culture.
That's yeah, yeah. I want to say thank you very much to Res12390. I feel like I'm reading somebody's social security number. Gamer. One. I want to see Trace in a Marvel comic. Sorry, in a Marvel or Atomic Blonde related movie. It's Becky from Instagram. Becky Stern 90. Do you know Becky
Okay, Becky,
Stern?
ride or die, Becky.
Ride or die. And then Chloe Letterman says, Pep and Trace, I love you. Thank you for your work. And they both tipped. So thank you so much for those fabulous tips
Yes,
there.
tip my girl,
Yes.
please.
And so, I think that was this girl. That was a great interview. And those are some really um, introspective questions. So thank you all for those deep questions. But now it is time to move on to the moment at hand. We are talking about Wait and Exhale. Navigating, it came out in 1995, the movie, based on the Terry McMillan book, bestseller. Navigating through careers, family, and romance, our four friends bond over the shortcomings in their love lives, namely the scarcity of good men, which is not fiction.
Definitely not fiction.
So I want to know what your thoughts are. When was the first time you saw this movie? That's the first question.
Girl, I saw this movie when it came out. I could not wait
Yes.
for this movie. I was a huge Whitney fan. Um,
Hmm.
I love all those actresses in that movie. And it is probably in my top 10. It's an amazing film about sisterhood, and I just don't think there's enough of those.
There's
So
really not. There
there's
are like, yeah, there are plenty of films that have groups of women in their friendship, but just this didn't. One of the things, not to jump to the end, but one of the things that I think that the movie presented was in a very 90s way, because it had that very 90s style. Watching it again, I was like, okay, this is you can just tell this is a 90s movie, which I love.
right,
There's a very particular format for the 90s kind of storytelling, but they really, it was just they took a very real look in a 90s way. It just didn't feel too overdone, and it wasn't like we're going to tell you these stories and everybody's going to be happy at the end and they're all going to have their man at the end, because
no,
that's not what it's about.
it's not
And I,
reality all
yeah, and I love that. I love that, to
I love
know that I
with the end.
won't be the only one who's alone at the end. We all going home alone.
Oh, that's gonna be us by that fucking fire, singing.
Girl, yeah, yep, by the fire, getting drunk by the fire at the
Oh,
end.
girl, there's so many highlights in that movie. I mean, they
Hmm.
all. What I loved is that they all got their moment to shine. Each actress got her moment.
Hmm.
You could make a highlight reel of each and every actress in that movie.
You really could.
Yes,
Mm.
from
There's some really iconic moments that I for sure really are the when you think of that actor and you think of what scenes, or you see the little clips, or if they're gonna have a lifetime achievement award. There's of any, well, obviously, rest in peace Whitney, of any of the actors that are still alive in the movie, you're gonna see footage from this movie for sure.
right.
um
Yeah.
the funny thing is, Angela Bassett, who y'all know played Tina Turner. I didn't even realize it. I mean, I obviously knew it back then, but like now, for some reason, this movie and What's Love Got to Do with It came out after Vampire in Brooklyn in my head. But in actuality, Vampire in Brooklyn, which was Angela Bassett plays the girlfriend of Eddie Murphy when he turns into Dracula,
Mhm.
um, which is kind of a kooky storyline, came out after 2 years after she played Tina Turner in What's Love Got to Do with It. What's Love Got to Do with It was really her like breakout,
Oh,
like
yeah.
yeah, moment. And so all the other things, some larger, some smaller roles came after that, which I think is really interesting and
That is
probably not fair.
yeah, that is very interesting. Oh my god, her body and What's Love Got to Do with It was
Just the,
goals.
the blueprint. What do you think of the acting in the movie?
Stellar. And I mean, there's just so many from Loretta Devine when she's got Gregory Hines in that truck, and she's just all her little breaths and flusteredness and all of that is just like, oh, that scene is iconic to me. Of course, Angela's scene when she's burning his car.
Burning the
Get your
car.
shit, get your
Get
shit.
your shit!
Yeah, I must have seen dozens of drag queens perform that number
That
on
number.
stage.
Mhm.
Um, Lila Rashawn was just, what a bombshell. I mean, I had the pleasure
Bomb. She's a
of
bombshell.
Makes Man with her. I wasn't in any scenes with her, but we were on the same show, and I got to meet her at the premiere. And she's incredible. It just all of them, and Whitney, and it's just insane
Yeah.
the caliber of acting. And it was equally funny and traumatic. So I think that is another draw to the film.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. Um, so what like the storyline itself, I wonder like if how men react to this. This was a bestseller,
Mm,
as many of Terry's books are. Um, and I remember the women in my family talking about this book, but in
okay.
anticipation of the movie coming out. Um, and I think it really definitely connects women, who, especially in an urban setting,
Hmm.
um, who who are single and trying to find love. Um, do you think that this movie feels like, is it fair to men? I hate that question, but
Mm.
do you think it's fair? It gives a fair shot to men, or does it give men a bad name, or is it just the motherfucking truth? What do you think?
Well, I don't think it's not the truth. I think uh, I for my own sanity, I have to believe that there are good men out there, even though I haven't found him. But I believe
Mhm.
in good, healthy love and partnership. I want that for myself and all my girlfriends. Um, just because I haven't found it doesn't mean I don't believe in it. But I do think that this movie was true, and so I don't know. Fair. I think it was a very real story that happens every day. I don't know if it was fair to men. I don't really. I think it was a very real story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
Yeah.
one of the things that I think, and I don't really know what it's like to be. Obviously, I don't know what it's like to be a cis woman,
Right.
um, having kids, and what it's like to be a mother or a parent. But I really, this time around, for some reason, Loretta Devine's character, I think she's Gloria, um, really resonated. It really spoke to me for some reason this time around, a little more than last time,
Mm.
of just this notion of this woman who my perception is that she's this woman who, obviously is looking for love, but really is almost desperate to find a good parental figure, father figure for her son, um, played by Donald Faison, who I used to have the biggest crush on.
Did you?
Yes, girl, so nerdy, but I thought he was so cute. Oh. I still
That's
think he's
well,
cute.
speaking of crushes, I had a huge crush on Leon Robinson.
Honey, I mean, he is okay, Leon, y'all, Leon, I'm trying to like I was trying to translate. Leon was the Jesus, the first time I'd ever seen a black Jesus
Yes,
in Madonna's
yeah, like
uh
prayer.
like a prayer, like a prayer. And
Uh-huh.
he is so sexy. Okay, I'll do you one more,
He
and
is
this
so
might be
fun. We
strict.
used to follow each other on Instagram until I
Oh,
think
what happened?
I think he caught the tea and then unfollowed me, so I unfollowed him.
Oh,
I was so,
Leon.
but you know,
Pay it, Leon.
initially there might have been a spark.
Hello, honey, darling.
But
You
he's
know
so
who I used to,
fine. Ooh,
wait, who?
no, Leon, he's just so fine. He was
Yeah,
just
he's
that
sort of
'90s it guy.
a
From
girl.
he did a lot of movies in the '90s.
He did lots of movies in the 90s, and that's why everybody we all like knew him just as Leon.
Yeah.
Um, okay, I had a huge crush on okay, you're not gonna. I thought, and I can't say a huge crush, but somebody that I found so hello? Oh, sorry, I thought somebody was in my house. Oh, shit, oh my
Oh, you
God.
got Trade coming over. What's the
Oh,
tea?
no trade. But speaking of who I
Don't
used to,
pop up Trade today. I don't do pop up.
hello, yeah, girl, don't let me get my but you know what I have. Anyway, the point is, um, what the person that I thought was so erotically sexy,
Mhm.
I didn't have a crush on him. I just thought I was like, was Gregory Hines in this like Gregory Hines, the
Yeah,
actor.
I can see
He
that.
was sexy. I
Yeah.
don't know why. Okay. I don't know.
And
I
you know
don't
what it
know.
is? It's when he says, "I like a woman with some meat on her bones."
Yeah. Then that was
That's
like my
don't.
eyes were like
Yeah, handle me. Handle me.
he is sexy. He was so sexy to me. Um and yeah, I'll never forget it. So wait, let me check the comments by the way. Let me just look at these damn ass comments before I forget. Dr. 1616, hey Doctor, says Peppermint, would you be willing to talk about what your experience was like on Broadway as a trans woman? I hated it. Oh no, I don't ever want to do. Just kidding. Um, yeah, really, my experience on Broadway was great. It was it was it was it was when there's not that many people who are credited as have been doing it before you, then and it feels like you're breaking through or something's new about the situation for everyone, then it can be tough. There's a lot of things that weren't in place that should have been in place, that could have been in place, that we wanted to be in place. And so there was definitely, a learning curve. But overall, Broadway is a wonderful community full of tradition, and it's the home, it's the heartbeat of a lot of live performance that, a professional theater that, a lot of people don't get to see a lot of live performance in professional theater. Um, and so, I'm so happy that that Broadway's going to come back in a really strong way. Uh, you know, coming up this later on this year. From the pandemic, it's been like a year. There's places that are like we had to open and then we had to shut, and then we could open again, then we had to shut again, and then we had to open at 50%. Broadway has just been dead the whole time since March 12th. Period. All hundreds of thousands of people out of work for now an entire year, period. Um, and it was devastating. So I can't wait for people to come back to Broadway. If you have the opportunity to come in and go to have a professional theatrical experience safely, you know, then I suggest you should do it because I think it'll be really good. And so what let's back to the movie. What impact, Trace, did this movie have in a either specifically or kind of generally on your life?
Mm. I think that I had a different appreciation for it as a youth watching it. You said it came out in '95, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So I won't disclose my age, but it meant something to me then. in terms of seeing these women, these strong roles for women, and this sisterhood, especially for Black women. Um, it was beautiful to see that and much
Mhm.
needed. Um, and then as my adult self, I think it took on a very different and real meaning for me as someone who has tried to find love and um, the struggles of being a single woman in this world. I think I connected on a much deeper level. And as a minority woman, a trans woman, I connected with it in a different way than I did when it first came.
Mm.
So I think that's a big reason why it's so connected to my heart. And seeing that sisterhood and knowing that that sisterhood, that same sisterhood that I have with my trans sisters like you and Laverne and Mila, um, is what keeps me going, literally.
Mhm.
Like not to get too
Mhm.
deep, but and that's what keeps me getting up every day is
Mhm.
knowing that I can find that sameness in my girls and we're not alone. We're not in this struggle by ourselves. Um,
Mhm.
it just has a different meaning for me now.
I feel that and I appreciate it. Yeah, I feel the same exact way looking at it 25, 20 years later. It definitely it resonates in a whole nother way
Yeah.
this time around. And so do you think this movie holds any relevance to the like events of today? Could this movie be made could this movie have been made today? Uh what are your thoughts on that?
I think it yeah, I mean I would love to see a part 2. I don't know about a
Mhm.
remake, but maybe a part 2 or if they did remake it, I don't know. Maybe it'd be cool to see trans women in that scenario or a
Mhm.
similar scenario. It's kind of hard to touch a classic like that, you know.
Mhm.
Maybe that's not a good idea,
Yeah.
but 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 yeah, I think that it could still be. I think that that movie could have been made today. What do you think?
I do think it could have been made today. I do think that there's a piece there, uh, that needs to be looked at with sort of the demonization of white women in this story. I
Hmm.
thought was kind of unfair. Granted, that's a conversation. That's a very real conversation, you know.
Hmm.
Um, but I do think that if they were going to do it today, then it would probably have to come across a little differently on screen.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah,
because
I did notice that too.
Mhm.
You know, in regards to cis white women, it was like, oh, okay, you know, but that pain is very real. So
Yeah,
I understand it. But uh, yeah. Go ahead. I didn't mean to
I
cut you
do
off.
think that's the piece. And but I guess if they were going to remake it today, I probably would. I'm wondering why, and I don't know. This might be very particular to Terry McMillan's uh, life because some of these things are fiction. Obviously, she's a writer, but then some of the things are heavily inspired by her
Hmm.
life, as we know. Why in the hell was it in Arizona? I ain't
That
busting on
was
Arizona.
Phoenix. Yeah. Why
Yeah, like
Phoenix?
I don't. That's what I'm saying. Like what? Okay.
Hey,
I'm busting on Phoenix, y'all. If
yo,
you're
okay,
anybody from
sorry, Phoenix.
Arizona, we
Sorry.
love it. We love it. We love it. I
You
just was.
kind of
I
bring.
don't remember it being in Arizona, in Phoenix. You know what I mean? And then when I saw it, I was like, what? Were they on vacation? And they've been in there a whole year in Phoenix. Girl, move out of there. And we go find some men. Um,
Yeah.
now ain't no many black people in Phoenix, honey. Ain't no 6 black people. Um, speaking of how important is seeing urban and black work seeing and supporting black films because the reason why I started this, let me tell, um, is I had a very close, very very good friend of mine. who were, you know how I'm like me in the movies. I'm like, sign me up.
I know.
Um, and we used to go to all the movies, but when the black films would come out, I didn't really have that many people to go with, or this particular person wouldn't always go with me.
Mm,
And I was kind of like, what's going on? You know, and it is what it is. They would see it on their own time or whatever, but they maybe it's just they weren't in the mood to see it, whatever. Um, but I realized that a lot of, my white friends haven't really been in a situation where they've wanted desperately to see or felt like these black films really represented them, maybe so they didn't see them.
mm.
And I, and so why do you think it's important for everyone to support all films, but like specifically black films? Are they just for black people to watch? And if not, why not?
Well, I can't speak for all white people, but I know for me, my experience has been a
I know, I know.
little different, and I mean, I definitely would be running to the theaters with you to
Oh, I
see
know.
any any black film. Um, but I do think it's important for us to support for white people, period, to support black films, black cinema, and I mean, I think that we should all be supporting each other in an ideal world. I think that especially marginalized groups need that mainstream cis white audience to come out
Mhm.
and support it. I think the trick is getting people to relate. So like when I think about 1995 and a cis white woman going to see Waiting to Exhale, um, maybe maybe it wasn't on her list because she had already heard, I don't know, whatever about it, but like uh that didn't deter me from seeing it. But I'm also trans, so I don't know that I necessarily felt attacked in that way, but
Mhm.
um I think in an ideal world we would all be supporting each other, and I don't know how we get there, I really don't. um but I know for me it's important to step outside of my own experience, and I've always sought out other people's journeys and tried to find the sameness, the through line between whatever I went through and what that person went through, regardless of where they came from. I find value in other people's stories, and I wish that more people would find value in stories that don't necessarily mirror their own experience, or like just because you don't relate to a movie doesn't mean you can't go see it and that you might not love it.
Mhm. Mhm. Very well said. Um, just another reminder before the show, we talked about if Trace follows comments about her number one fashion redo, and Trace's thoughts on legislating transgender athletes uh, to participate or not be able to participate in sports, and also her biggest pet peeve. Um, so, Trace, I want to say thank you so much for uh, for coming and being on the show with us. I love you so much.
Love you
Um,
all.
People, we want you to watch right now. I believe on Amazon, right?
Topic.
Uh, Trans in Trump Land. It is absolutely important, and I want you to watch with an open mind. I know that Trace, you had talked about, some comments here and there, people on the internet, maybe prejudging the piece, just based on the fact that it has Trump's name in it. But people, you got to watch this because it really it shows people's experience, trans people's experience over the last 4 years, particularly during the Trump administration, and what it's like to be someone who's uh, here in this country and hearing their president and people in the government talk about us as if we are a burden and don't exist or shouldn't be allowed to do this and all of that, and what that does in community. And so I think you should check it out. So that's Trans in Trump Land. It's on Amazon, and then also please check out and share Trace's her debut single, bitch. SMB.
Yes.
And yes. Check it out and share it.
Self-made bitch.
Self-made bitch.
Literally, we're self-made bitches.
Yes, we are. Literally and figuratively. And check out, after you listen to it, share that, and then go please over to YouTube and watch the video and listen to and share that. Anyway, Trace, I love you so much. Thank you so much for being a guest on the show, stopping by with me.
Girl, thank you for having me. I'm so glad you're doing this series.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. I'd love you to come back on anytime.
Yes, girl.
All right, we are going to switch to a different segment right now. It's time for the skincare and makeup segment. And these are my favorite products of the week. And this week, I wanted to highlight a Black-owned business. This is Lip Bar. It's been Black-owned and led since 2012. It's vegan and cruelty-free. Boop, boop, boop. And this is the vegan liquid matte Prima Donna. It's a liquid matte lipstick. It goes on like gloss and dries matte and lasts all day. We have some pictures and videos of it, I hope, Mitch. And I'm gonna try someone right now. You can pick this up for $13 on their website, I believe. And I really do like this. I'm really down with Lip Bar's products. The only thing that is a little bit of a drawback for me is that the packaging or the container, the amount is kind of small. Especially considering how big the box is that you get it. And so there's a lot of packaging for a very small, almost battery-sized. Don't ask me how I know what size the batteries are. Battery-sized lip product, and it would be nice if it was just a little more jumbo and filling. But the color is beautiful. Let me just look at myself in the mirror to make sure I don't look like crazy with lipstick going across my face or something crazy. Let's see how she. Oh yes, I love this color. This color is Prima Donna, and it's beautiful. So pick it up, check it out. Lip Bar, please support. And I'll be featuring every single week. Even though, okay, I'm late. Even though it's no longer Black History Month, every week I will be featuring, in addition to whatever skincare or makeup that I get and want to show you, I'll also be featuring Black-owned business, whether it's also makeup or something else that I have for the entire month of March, because I think it should go further than March, and I forgot to do it in February because I was celebrating. So here I am. Anyway, thank you all so much. If you're just joining us, please head over to my Patreon page to see everything you just missed. Thanks so much for watching the show. Oh, it's time. Let me get this. It's time to get the movie wheel up. Raif, I forgot to ask you the choices. Can you give me the choices so I can enter them into the movie wheel? Can you tell me?
We have Queens of Comedy and
Ooh,
Paid in Full.
Paid in Full and Queens of Comedy. Okay, let me edit it right now. Put it into the wheel. I'll just put Queens. Or I'll put Comedy. Comedy, Queens. Okay, Queens Comedy, and then Paid in Full.
Yes.
Okay. Paid in Full. Okay. Paid. Just put paid. Okay, here we go. Can we breathe it? Do it? Okay, spin. Here we go. Can you see it, y'all? I don't know why I'm so obsessed with this. Oh, the volume's down. I do that every week. No, I want you to hear the volume. Here we go. No. Do it again. Spin. Next week's movie is Paid in Full. There we have it. Paid, bitch. Okay. Thank you all so much for watching. Please check my socials and my Patreon to find out who our next week's guest is. and make sure to watch the next movie, Paid in Full, beforehand. Oh, I can't sing a closing song. I'm going to sing a closing and an opening song next week. I promise. But Raif, can you please remind me before the show?
Yes, ma'am.
Can we say hi to Mitch and Raif, please? For watching the show. This is Pepp Talks. Please do me a favor and share this. Share something about the show. Tell your friend, tell your mama, tell your sister, tell your auntie. We
I
want
think
more
you
viewers.
muted yourself.
Oh, I muted myself.
Oh.
Oh, can you hear me? Thanks so much for coming out and watching the show, everyone. Please share about the show. Yeah, I want more. I would love to get more viewers. And for those of you watching on Twitch or any of please join us on Patreon. We're coming out with a whole lot more content. I do this show called the Real World Review, the Real Pep Review, with my the real life husband Caswell. And we review the real world every single week. And I would love for y'all to check it out. So thanks for watching the show, and I will see you later. Bye.